Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this month's edition of Angela Answers Fan Mail. As always, I'm Vinny. This is Angela, and she is the star of the show because she's
Oh, the star.
the fan mail.
Yeah, I am the one that gets fan mail.
Yes, you are. Now, before we get into anything, I do want to let everybody know, as always, if you're seeing this early, you are subscribed to our Patreon. So go ahead and sign up, patreon.com/Suds and Squared Circle. You do get all of our pre-recorded content early, and once we start getting ads, ad-free, as well as some other perks. You'll have access to all of our archive separated into specific show folders, and you'll be able to go ahead and listen to all of that. Um, also, if you want to support the show, go ahead and go to buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media. Whatever you use there, if you want to buy us a coffee or just donate to the show, go ahead and help us out with that. Um, that's always helpful, and thank you so much for all the support over the years. And I do want to have to plug that on November 16th, we're going to be starting a 24-hour, November 16th at 12 noon, we're going to be doing a 24-hour charity telethon to benefit Samantha's Friends, the organization that helps service animals being rehomed in case they need to be rehomed. So that's what we're going to be doing. Keep an eye on our Twitter pages as well as all of our social media for more information regarding that. Again, that's mark your calendar is going to be Saturday, November 16th for 24 hours from 12 noon until Sunday, November 17th at 12 noon. All right. So before we get into anything colorful, let's actually answer our actual fan mail and send
Hmm.
our email address, angela answersfanmail@gmail.com. And here's your email. She goes, do you think the show will go for a Molly and Dex pairing? I'm not seeing much romantic chem there, but if it means Dex will have some story, then I can live with it. I prefer Jex, though. I'm wondering how Evan and Eden are getting along in real life. I know something happened in December of 2023 that ended a friendship or a romance or something. I don't know what, though, and it's not any of my business. Other than if they don't want to work together, it makes it hard to maintain a popular romantic pairing in the soap world. Just trying to figure out where they all are going with this. By the way, I don't mean for you to talk on your podcast about the actors' private lives. I guess I'm just trying to come up with reasons why I'm not seeing Jax on the show much anymore. It's Christina, 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 or Lulu, Lulu, Lulu. I really like Brennan more every day, and Rick, he's great. Geo, sorry, I don't get it. I do not see why producers casting people think he's so wonderful. I will still feel that way when he's a Q and a Corinthos and has a mother and a father and four grandparents and a great grandmother and assorted cousins. Do not make me like him. Why am I supposed to be interested in his relationship with his dead mother and what cookies she made? I don't hate the guy, but I kind of resent his getting connection and family. And so far, Dex has zip. Thanks, Anne. So, a lot to unpack there. Do you want to just start from the very beginning and Evan and Eden and what might have happened there?
I don't think, here's the thing. I don't think Eden and Evan were ever necessarily in a relationship together.
Okay.
I think they were friends. I think they're still friends.
Okay.
Um, Eden's mother passed away in end of November, early December 2023.
Yep.
And we didn't find out about it until either right before the Emmys or right after.
Yeah.
Um,
Because there was
and
also
he
that
was at the Emmys in December. I was there. When she won, he jumped up and hugged her dad. So there was no there was no falling out. He continues to praise her. She's kind of taken a step back since her mother died from behind the scenes stuff with her. She's kind of doing a lot of, self love and trips with her other friend, non acting friends and stuff like that. But there's no indication that there was any kind of falling out. She's just taking some time to deal with her mother's death, which anybody who has lost a parent knows
Mhm. Yeah,
is hard at the very least.
exactly.
Um, and she's young.
Yeah.
and that's um so um I don't think that there's anything nefarious going on. We had actually talked about
We talked about Dex and Mom.
last night.
Yeah, last night.
Right, we talked about last night the whole younger set. Um and I I don't think that I I'm not sure if they're going to do Dex and Molly. I kind of really more tend to think that it's going to be um that there's I just have a feeling they're going to end up as siblings, but that's literally my speculation. Honestly, I think our best chance, we're going to find out in the aftermath of Sam's death.
Yeah.
If something's going to happen, that's when it's going to happen.
All right. Now on to Geo. Um,
Hmm.
now and it kind of ties into the younger set, because his
Right.
storyline kind of got pushed to the back burner with all the writing changes. He was
Hmm.
specifically for Trina as her love interest, but with Patrick leaving, Elizabeth being on her own, and then Chris coming back on, it just everything, all the writing was in a jumble. They had to kind of reset the stories and
Right.
um, you know, get the main story, the A story, so to speak, set. Now they can focus on the other.
Right.
And we're starting to see that.
Yeah, we had talked about that last night as well, that it was just kind of, really all of the younger set has been. And I like Geo,
Yeah.
but I like what I've seen so far. I'm interested in seeing more. I understand that it's been stalled and that can be frustrating, but I'm more patient than some when it comes to my soaps. You are too.
Mhm. Yeah.
you know we just some people aren't, and that's fine. People want things quicker. I mean, I remember things took years. I mean, I always go back to this one. Carly, we knew Carly was Bobby's daughter from the minute she stepped foot in Port Charles in April of 1996. Bobby didn't find out until like end of winter, early spring 1998.
Wow. That's what you call long-term storytelling.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And the audience knew. We don't even know who's Geo's, what they're going to do with Geo's connection. There's still a lot of this story that has to unfold.
Yeah.
So, so for me, this is not a taking forever kind of thing, personally, aside from the fact that the younger set all seem to be stalled.
Yeah. And I know you've
So,
and I know you've been tuning in regularly to Suds News, so I'm sure some of those questions were answered during our shows, considering that was sent on September 23rd. So, you know,
yes.
I'm glad I want to thank you for sending your emails and keep on coming if there's any other questions you want. And anybody else that wants to send emails, it's Angela answers fan
We are.
at gmail.com.
Mhm.
All right.
Yes.
Now, just briefly, you did mention that Sam's passing. We'll find out more about the Dex and Molly situation and more of the Davis
Yes.
stuff after that. Kind of brings us to our first colorful mention. This comes to us from Daytime Dish website, um, which you have a screen name on of Carly Stan. Is that correct?
Yes, my screen name over there is Carly Stan.
Okay. That is
Just, as a fun,
That is not a social media
you know.
site that I've seen, so I might have to take a look. The Daytime Dish.
Yes, the daytime dish. It's been around for a long, long time. And they have boards for each soap.
Mhm.
I will warn you, I will warn everybody. I love Dish. There used to be great, great spoilers there. Every once in a while we get some good ones now, but it is a toxic cesspool because people can post anonymously.
Ah,
I'm registered. I have a screen name and people know who I am, aside from my screen name. They know where my Twitter is and all of that. So everybody knows who I am. But even most of the registered people have have a fake name, have, an avatar that's their fave, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But like on Twitter, it kind of makes them a little braver than maybe they should.
Yeah. And it's like any other message board, you know,
Right.
like anything like Reddit. I mean, all social media is toxic in general.
Right.
But here we go.
Hmm.
This one is supposed to be about this one is about, Kelly Monaco's leaving. And the way it works is like, all the responses are kind of wrapped around the previous message. So the original message
Right.
that I see on here, it says, I don't recall that scene. I'd need a clip, but thank you. That is very sad to me. If so, was help at least offered, like with KSTC, etc.? This could have a very tragic ending, as we've witnessed over the last couple of years. I hope if that's the case, she gets the help before it's too late. The response to that was, from all accounts, FV, Frank Valentini, is great about offering help and giving chances, but eventually he is done with both if the person does not want to get help. The response to that was, I see. I understand if fans do not like Sam. However, if this is the truth that's out there, I find the lack of compassion very upsetting. If chemo is really in need of serious help, I do not understand the jokes. We've witnessed far too many tragedies, and I surely hope she doesn't meet the same fate. Thank you for the info. And this is the response that we're going with here. The final message in this thread. Some fans do not like those who don't match their lockstep. The expressions of concern for chemo getting the help she needs, followed by unverified claims from a failed blogger who has burnt any legitimate bridges and sources by now. I believe your use of the phrase,
That's me.
I believe your use of the phrase, quote, the truth that's out there, unquote, indicates to moi that you are also aware the info so generously shared is BS and have more class than me. CS, meaning Carly Stan, is a cancer and is constantly spreading quote unquote truths that always seem to be negative unless it is her girl. And since we know even her girl is an FW, is not fucking with her like that, or not fucking with here like that. All CS has is her quote unquote enemies, aka other fans she passively aggressively swipes at with lies about behind the scenes knowledge. So this does go.
Yeah. So this is an unhinged rant. So over on Daytime Dish, I have said many times I am not an insider. Sometimes I hear things
Yep.
and I share them. Sometimes I hear things and I don't share them. And I've also told everybody repeatedly, be very careful about anything you hear. Frank is trying to plug leaks. So he'll just tell one person something, or he'll put out false things to see what makes it out into. So unless I hear something from two or three sources, like the exact same thing, I don't really, I take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
So I say that. I also speculate. I speculate on your show. We just did it earlier talking about, what we think could happen with Dex and Molly and yada, yada, yada. That's
Yeah.
pure speculation.
Yep.
But because there have been times I have known things, some people, every time I say something, take it as I'm saying that this is definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
People also have it in their heads that we'll also see later. This is another one with her whole failed blogger nonsense. People think I was fired from Soap Opera News, and I wasn't. I resigned. They are free to ask Michael, but they don't want to do that because they want to stay in their own narrative. And for some reason, some people also seem to think that Laura Wright blocked me, which she didn't. She like responds to my stuff. I don't know why they would think, but again, this is some narrative that they have made up in their heads.
Yeah.
Um, but that's fine. They can make up narratives. But I mean, how unhinged? A cancer and always seems to be negative unless it's about her girl. I to have a lot of positive specs about a lot of characters outside of Carly.
Right.
So yeah, it's this chick is absolutely unhinged. Fortunately, the admin like smacked her hand,
Yeah.
and it's just it's insane. But she also there was another that same day. I hadn't even sent it to you. There was another. I had posted, I said, God, I hope the drop about them making the Spencers the core family is true. It will kill so many when the cousins are close and featured together a lot.
Yeah.
And other people, were responding and she said, um, especially since either's intro, the cousins were never close and didn't have a need slash reason to be featured together. One, that's untrue. Carly and Lulu were very close, and Carly and Lucky had a relationship too. They weren't as close, but whatever. And then I'm sure they could do more Vaseline's lens flashbacks with Carly's hair and pigtails this time. LMAO at your glee at others' demise. I said, what demise am I taking glee in exactly? And I also corrected her about Lulu and Carly were close. And then she said, you fucking psychopath, you capitalized the kill in your post. That,
Wow.
and then she said, save your keystrokes, wannabe scribe. Yeah, the cousins were never close. And then she says, just like Jarly wasn't a word until they gave you Egypt's public platforms. I'm like, okay, this chick is unhinged. And I'm just like, seriously, one who calls themselves a goddess, but okay, that's, whatever it is. But she just is obsessed.
Mhm.
I post anything. But seriously, me saying that I would kill for something to happen, I'm not actually going to kill.
Right.
Me saying I would kill others if it happens, I don't really think they're going to die from it. It's hyperbole.
Yeah.
Everyone does it, but especially writers.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And it's just ridiculous. It's just, lady, get a grip. Or sir, either way, get a grip. And I'm a Cancer? Really? Even if I sat on a soap opera message board all day and made up fake spoilers, how bad of an effect is that even on a world?
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, in the grand scheme.
People just
But yeah,
these things so seriously, and it's like they revolve their lives around social media, and it makes me
yeah,
question what these people do for work, what they do for hobbies, what do they ever
yeah,
go outside and get some fresh air?
right. Exactly. And I mean, we have a reason to
Yeah.
be on the social media and the boards. It's part of what we do.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So there's that. And we still both have lives.
Yeah.
And if people want to spend their time, that's fine. But the fixation on me
Yeah.
is pathological.
Yes, it is.
I'm like, it's so funny. I'm in this. I mean, I was like, this one actually, usually I always just laugh it off, but this one was like, she needed a Snickers or something. She was hangry. She was something. I'm just like, are you kidding? So I guess a bunch of people reported it to the board admin and she messaged me. The board admin messaged me and she said, listen, I told her that she needs to knock this off or I'm banning her because it's getting out of control. So let me know if she doesn't stop. But I'm just like, good Lord.
Yeah, that's insane. Um, all right.
Yeah.
Here's another one you sent me. This one on September 29th, General Hospital tweeted out their normal daily, sneak peek of the next day show regarding Lucky arriving home as Lulu's survival hangs in the balance. So this person reposted that at PJ Porton and said, I think at General Hospital, survival hangs in the balance because of the terrible decision to fire Kelly Monaco. Do the smart thing and rehire Kelly. Hashtag Kelly 21, hashtag I stand with Kelly, and then goes on to to tag ABC Publicity, ABC Network, Walt Disney Company, Nathan Varney, Kregerwich, and Hulu. And I'm sorry, that's insane to tag all those people because you're upset that
Yeah.
your favorite
The
cut.
poor Hulu intern is like, boss, I don't know if this is something.
Yeah,
The boss, like, no, it's nothing. Ignore the crazy.
yeah. General
Yeah.
Hospital survival does not hang in the balance just based on a decision of letting one actor go.
And that applies to every single actor on the show.
Exactly.
That's not a bash against Kelly Monaco or Sam. It applies to every single actor on the show. Arguably, the most popular character in General Hospital history is Luke
Lucas.
Spencer
Yeah,
and Laura. They have survived both of them leaving continuously. They have survived busting, not only breaking up that relationship, but setting it on fire, salting and burning the remains.
yeah,
And, this is a soap opera.
yep.
This isn't, you know what I mean? I mean, the show Roseanne survived without Roseanne.
I know. Yes.
Soap opera can survive without one character.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. There's nobody on the show that was on the show when it started.
No, you're right.
There's only a couple people that are on the show that were on the show in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah,
It's and like some of the biggest people from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s are no longer on the show.
right.
And here we are every day,
Yep,
Monday through Friday, unless there's some sort of holiday and there's a repeat or the playoffs.
yep. And then
Somehow they still manage to come to air every day.
and they think because of the hundred or so people on Twitter that decide to turn off the TV because they're upset Kelly Monaco is no longer going to be on the show, they think that constitutes
Right.
hospital survival.
Well, it's just like, we were talking about last night with that post by Soap Gen, where GH has to write for the audience they want and they need to decide. A soap opera is not going to write for an audience that is saying, if you kill my favorite character, I'm not watching.
Right.
That's not the audience they want.
No.
They want the audience who can have favorite characters, have favorite couples, but are going to tune in regardless.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
that's how a soap opera is supposed to go.
Right. Exactly. End of story.
Soaps are not made for stans
No.
who live or die by their pairing or their favorite character. They just don't. And I mean, literally, my name over at Daytime Dish is Carly Stan. Carly is my all-time favorite soap opera character ever, and I've watched almost every soap. I will watch General Hospital if she was no longer on.
Right. Exactly.
And I think I'd still enjoy it.
Yeah. No.
Would I be sad that my fave left? Sure, I would. But she's not, no one character is General Hospital to me.
My favorite character is Jason. My favorite actor on the show is Steve Burton, and he left numerous times.
Numerous times, and here you are.
Exactly. And I've still watched every day for over a decade
Mhm.
because I enjoy the show. And yeah,
Exactly.
jumped over to watch Days because Steve Burton was on there. And when Steve Burton left, I haven't found the time to watch it. And it's not because of Steve, it's because of at the same time he was coming back to GH, I got a new job. So it just so happened that I just
Right.
didn't have time anymore. So, you know, it it's just absolutely ridiculous. And who knows? By the end of the year, the 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 atmosphere, or should I say the canvas of GH may be completely changed from the rumor and innuendo that's out there now.
God, I hope so. What? And it's not even, I mean, yeah, partly it's about that I can't stand the character, but it's also, it
It's
would be such a shakeup.
yeah,
And it
exactly.
would be so exciting. And it would be, the show would be, I mean, he has over 4 weeks more episodes than the next person on the list.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's also, I'm pretty sure, the highest paid actor.
Of course.
So the amount of money and airtime it would clear up,
Yeah,
And it would take the mob out of things as the good guys, because the only reason it's still there
Yeah.
is because of Sonny, because they are going to be moving Jason. They want to move Jason into the other side of the, more of the WSB stuff like that. That's obvious in my opinion.
The only way to really have a villain come in, like Sidwell, for example, come in,
Mm-hmm.
is if you have established baby faces, established good guys. And if you have
Mm-hmm.
a character like Sonny, who's a mobster with a heart of gold, but he's still a criminal, and Jason working for the mob, well, then it's like you have multiple villains and not enough good people.
Well, that's the thing, is that, and I'm sorry, the whole thing with Jagger,
Yeah,
they did a whole 180 trying to make him a bad guy, but nothing he did excused Sonny
right.
killing him premeditatedly in
Yeah,
cold blood
exactly.
while he was unarmed.
Exactly.
And Sonny literally orphaned an autistic child whose
Yeah,
mother was already dead.
yeah,
And he could say, oh, he was going after Christina to get to me. Well, here's the thing. You're a bad guy, Sonny. You're a mobster. It's what they do. It's what they're supposed to do.
yeah, exactly.
And, I yes, should he have gone after Christina? Probably not. But it's not like he was a threat to her life. It
Right.
wasn't, it was just, it was just, yeah, yeah, I can't.
All right, so we're going to move on to another tweet. It looks like it was a response at some point from the aforementioned at SoapGen on Twitter. And okay, so I don't understand the idea behind putting asterisks for letters, on social media. So this person alluded to said, at least you don't have to deal with Angela this time. Silver lining, and they used asterisks to mark out two letters of your name.
Here's the irony on this.
Okay.
That poster that she said that to has
Mhm.
never had to deal with Angela. That poster has had me blocked for years because she was, I think, a Jason and Robin fan, and I'm a Carly and Jason fan, and she blocked me years ago because of that. So that poster has never had to deal with me in their mentions.
Right. So that who is at Adelheid1121 said, I still have to deal with people saying disgusting things about Finola in either scenario, unfortunately. And then at Sobergen replies, but you don't have to deal with that particular one. And Steve, who isn't even a smart guy, has enough sense to not befriend her baby reindeer ass. I'm really trying to put a positive on this for you. Thanks. It's a struggle right now. Okay. So,
This is a real funny thing. One, not befriend my baby reindeer ass. First off, Steve, I'm not obsessed with Steve Burton I'm not obsessed with anybody
right.
except my really, really sweet, cute niece who's a baby, and I'm obsessed with her. But other than that, I'm not obsessed with anybody.
Right.
And Steve Burton and I have no issue. I interviewed him last summer. It was a great interview. I've been to their events, and they've been great to me and all of that. Um, and so I don't know why. I mean, I'm a Jason and Carly fan, but I am a Carly fan above all.
Right. And Jason is your preferred.
Jason, exactly. And other than wanting him with Carly, I have very little use for Jason
Yeah.
and can quickly throw him overboard. Carly, I can like in other pairings,
Yeah.
um, but not. I can't, but Jason, I'm like, whatever. So the baby reindeer ass is ridiculous, especially when it comes to Steve Burton.
Right. Exactly.
Um, yeah, so yeah, it's ridiculous. That was insane. And it's funny the whole thing with the asterisks in the name. They say they do that because like they'll do it to Carly. They do it to Carly tons. We don't want crazy Carly fans in our mentions. Okay, well that's ridiculous and stupid, but okay, whatever. Especially when you put it in the GH tag anyway.
Right. Exactly.
Not it. They just don't want it trending. But why? As far as she didn't want. What did she not want me in her mention? Well, then why the hell are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Why did I get brought into that conversation even to begin with? You know what I mean? One, I posted. I went back and I looked just for fun on Twitter about my recent interactions with SoapGen before this.
Mhm.
Let's see. So, um, I had replied to on September 25th, I replied to two other people that were in conversations with her that I'm fine with.
Yep.
Not anything yada yada. Before that, the last time I had said anything in a conversation she was in was May 23rd, when she had posted something about the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits, and one of my friends said, "What is it, the last one?" And I said they declared bankruptcy. So it's not like I'm in hermit. I muted her.
Right.
So I don't understand this.
You just have a lot of fans that want to get into your mentions.
Well, that's the whole I'm just like, why? I don't understand how I got brought into that conversation. And especially about Finola. I love Finola.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be bashing Finola for anything. I cheered on the Jason and Anna kiss
Right.
because it was Soapy Mess, and I love Soapy Mess.
Yep.
So it's pathological.
You're exactly right. It's just people are obsessed. I don't even think people are obsessed with anything else except for you and wanting to get recognized by you. And maybe they just want to get on the show and be recognized in general. So, I mean, the more they bash you, the more we call them out.
Right. That's what and I've teased before that they do it for clout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they'll get all their likes and the whole little, their whole little mean girl clique all gather around. And that's fine. Whatever, blows their skirts up,
Yep.
makes their dick hard, whatever.
Yep.
I'm fine with that. But it's my favorite thing though with it is that then they act like I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm like the villain in their story, and that's fine. Every story needs one, I suppose. But
Yeah.
I just, and it's so funny too, because like people in my real life, like my family about these things, or like my kids will, because my kids see the tweets
Yeah.
because they're on the social media, and it cracks them up. They are just like, they have made up this entire narrative about you that is just insane. And like, I'm a nanny.
Right.
I used to have a daycare with like 27 kids in it at one time. And these kids loved me. My nanny kids the other day were up here in my room. They were playing on my I let them play tech for a little while. They're laying on my bed playing Roblox together, the two boys, the brothers. And me and Tony were downstairs.
Yeah.
And I had Zoom on because we had our live watch of Zoom, and she still had it open on her phone, and I still had it on my computer in my room so we could hear the boys talking. And they were talking about how much they love me and they wish they could just live here forever. We live in the same exact house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But these are, so it cracks everybody up in my life, this narrative that people paint of me. of this, miserable person who's lonely. And I mean, the kids I nanny come down on the weekends to hang out with me. My daughter and her roommates all live in the little apartment next door, and her roommates all love me. And her friends she'll be like, "Oh, my friend so and so is over. Come over. She wants to see you. They miss you."
Yeah,
And it is really, really funny.
yeah.
And I have 7 brothers and sisters, and I'm close to it's just
Here's the problem.
this narrative
You
is
have,
laughable.
you have a thick skin. You can dish it out and take it.
Yeah,
These people, all they care
right.
about is dishing it out, and they don't want to be held accountable, and they can't take it.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is that everybody has seen that's been on my Twitter, have seen my pin post.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing. People are, I mean, I had all those brothers and sisters. I took care of children, and the children, even the ones who love me, say things that you're just like, oh, that kills you. You have a child, you know how that goes. So nothing strangers on the internet.
Right.
Like, I always laugh whenever they talk about me being fat or call me Shamu or something like that. One time, one of my nanny boys, the little one, who I absolutely he says that I'm his best friend in the whole world, hugged me on my back. He was hugging me from behind on my back. He goes, "Your back is so fluffy." That hurts more than them calling, anybody on the internet calling me fat. And he says it without an ounce of malice.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm like, take your best shot. You're not gonna hurt me.
Right.
You don't have the equipment to.
Right.
You don't have the goods, no matter what you say to me, because for somebody to hurt you, their opinion has to matter to you.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
And I like discourse. I like debate. I don't even mind heated debate.
Right.
When I was in debate in high school, like this was a different time. Obviously, a debate teacher could never say something like this now. But one of the guys and I were debating something in high school, and our debate coach, because we were getting so vicious with each other, he stepped in between us and he went, "All right, you two, get a room." Because we were getting so heated. And so, I love, but then I can just walk away from it.
Exactly. And that's what it boils down to.
Exactly.
Yep.
But these people, I am living rent free in their heads, and it's festering, and they just can't, they see somebody upset and it's instantly, "Oh, Angela must have something to do with this, or at least she didn't have." And it's like, dude, you think about me a lot.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, should I start an OnlyFans just spouting my soap opera opinions? They'd
Oh,
probably subscribe for that, right?
that would be great. Well, that's what this is. Um,
Exactly.
all right, we're gonna move on to another tweet, another post. This one is by at it's Xavion, and this person posts, "I've been trying not to think about it, but I'm never gonna believe that Sam and Chemo's exit is quote unquote storyline dictated when they could have killed off Carly and have her be the match for Lulu, since those two are in fact closely related. Play with your boogers, not with me."
Like, I'm like, like my first response to that post was, "Ew." Like, gross. That's disgusting, but okay. That's it. People get fired from soap operas.
They do. They get fired from all companies, all businesses, all.
Exactly. And that's how it goes. And it's ironic, a lot of these people complaining about the firing are calling for others to get fired because of it.
Yep. And here's one that goes right with it. This one is from at B Rollins fan one. General Hospital isn't going to get better until they get rid of Frank, Nathan, and the writers. Also trimming down the cast. Hashtag I stand with Kelly. Hashtag Kelly21. So you're okay with trimming down the cast, except for they're actually trimming
Kelly Monica. Yes.
and the person they're trimming.
Yes. Exactly. You nailed it. They're like, "What? What's the problem with that?"
Right. Because of the
Yeah.
and here's let's kind of clear up the narrative. She wasn't fired. Her contract just was not renewed, and they wrote her
Exactly.
off. End of story. She was not fired.
And, this leads me to like the next one, because I had made a post on Twitter
Yep.
said, I don't care that let me find it so I can quote myself properly. I had said that that I didn't care that she was fired. I said, knowing how she got the job, I can't find it in myself to care that she lost it.
Yep.
And it's funny because a lot of her fans or so-called fans took that to mean that I was saying she slept her way into the job,
Right. But a little
which
history lesson.
what's funny is that it literally did not occur to me that that's how it would be taken because it wasn't how I meant it.
Right.
One, I would never bash a woman, even if I thought somebody had slept their way into a job. I wouldn't bash a woman for that because it's not her, it's the predator who made her think that she had to do that to get a job.
Right. Exactly.
Not, I'm not bashing anybody like that. That's not who I am.
Right.
But Kelly, a lot of times, has spoken out about how she got the job. Port Charles was canceled,
Yep.
and some CBS soaps wanted her, Days of Our Lives wanted her, and One Life to Live wanted her,
Yep.
and All My Children. And the one of the soaps, I mean, I'm not going to say every soap reached out to her, but that one ABC soap did not reach out to her, and that was General Hospital. She called Brian Franz and told him she wanted to be on General Hospital. And he said, done. And he told General Hospital, you're taking her, and that's it. Now, she has said many times that the writers and the powers that be were not happy about having to put her in.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was also back then, they had year-long storyline Bibles. It was towards the end of the year, so they had already started their storylines for the Bible for the next year.
Right.
They also have to deal with the budget. It's not like their budget was increased to pay for her.
Exactly.
And she came in as a lead character with over 200 episodes a year. For the first couple months she was filming, they had to accommodate that she was still filming Port Charles.
Yep.
Because she premiered on General Hospital the day after Port Charles ended.
Oh wow. With a new character.
Yes. So, and I don't think that Kelly did anything wrong. She advocated for herself, and
Right.
that's fine. But this is how it goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And her hiring also, I mean, they got rid of Billy Warlock
Mm-hmm. And he was
because they had to clear up money in the budget.
DJ at that time, right?
It was AJ.
Right.
And also, when Lynn Herring and Ken Schreiner, and John Lindstrom, I'm sorry, had gone to the show Port Charles because they had been on General Hospital. And when they were launching Port Charles, they had asked them to help anchor it.
Yeah.
They had agreed with the understanding that they could come back to General Hospital as their characters under contract like they had been
Yeah.
if it ended.
Right.
Well, General Hospital couldn't afford them. So they were SOL because they had to take Kelly Monaco. And again, that is how it goes.
Yep.
But why am I supposed to be thinking that it's a big injustice now that they had to trim her for budget or whatever, they decided to let her go. Originally, they were going to be killing off Ava. They made the decision to not do that. Someone had to go.
Yeah.
Somebody that they haven't used a lot. And could they, her fans are like, well, they could write for her. Okay. But the fact of the matter is they haven't for years now.
Yeah.
And she's basically a glorified extra. There are scenes she's in where she doesn't even say anything, or she just has a couple lines, but they're just trying to burn her minimums because Frank doesn't like to pay people not to work. So she was on the higher end of the pay scale, and they were paying her to be background noise. So she was a logical choice if they had to get rid of somebody.
Yeah.
And, she says she took the pay cut, and I believe her, but apparently they decided that wasn't enough. They had to,
Yeah.
you know, and it's a business.
It is. Exactly.
And I got, and I wasn't cheering. I mean, I cheered when Becky Hurst was fired because I hate the character of Liz. I wasn't cheering she was fired. I don't care.
Right. Exactly.
It doesn't affect my enjoyment of the show.
Yeah. So that leads us to
There,
one. So this is actually a repost. Um, the original post was from October 1st from at Crazy Soaps, is who says, "So y'all are that petty that you can't wish Kelly Monaco a happy 21st anniversary today at General Hospital. 21 years of loyalty for what? To be treated like this?" And she gave the network ABC 24 years of loyalty. The treatment of this loyal employee will never be forgotten. And the repost from Matt 10th Floor Podcast, that 10th Floor GH, one of our friends, that to be
mm-hmm.
technical, not an employee anymore, and it isn't her anniversary because of that fact. Just saying, aim achievable results. So thank you, Matt, for striking down someone else who is delusional.
Yeah.
But then here we go. That going into the um responses to that from at B Genoa City 9002. Oh, be quiet. You don't care about most of the actors on GH anyways. All you care about is that you get to see your precious story so you can make your sad sack podcast no one gives a crap about. And since she's currently appearing on the show, yes, it's her 21st, a 21st anniversary. To which Matt replied, LOL, I don't think it's a problem to enjoy the show as it is without throwing a tantrum every time they make a decision. Have fun with that. And then you replied, how dare you just want to watch the show and enjoy it and then talk about it? Who the fuck do you think you are?
I can be a little bit sarcastic sometimes.
Makes sense? So,
Yeah, yeah.
so then Crazy Soaps, actually, um, um, kind of, um, clarified, saying it's her anniversary because her first episode aired 21 years ago and she is still airing. Her final episode hasn't aired yet, meaning she achieved the full 21 years if we're being technical. Then her anniversary is her first film date, which is 6 weeks before the first air date and before the time she got fired.
Uh, to be fair, I told Matt that Crazy Soap was right. However,
Yeah,
General Hospital doesn't, they only acknowledge the big ones. They don't do everybody's every year.
yeah,
They do them on the fives and the tens, and sometimes just the tens. So they wouldn't have done 21 years even if they did 20 years for Kelly. They didn't do 19. They don't do it.
yeah,
Yesterday was Eden's ninth. There wasn't a post from them
right.
because they don't do it. It wasn't them being petty. They don't do it. So, and it's just, and people could easily verify this by going to the General Hospital Twitter page and searching.
Yeah, exactly.
It would still be there. They do their birthdays every year. They don't do every single anniversary every year. It would be all they ever posted.
Right.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's
All right. So this one, you messaged me this. You sent me a couple of screenshots. This is from at Effexor Fan 420. And these are from a couple.
mhm.
So this person tweeted out on May 2nd, 2022, I ship Steve with unemployment. And then on January 22nd, 2024, um, this person retweeted a Buzzcast rumor saying that Chris and Dan are out at GH. And this person posted, should have done Daddy Dante. Maybe they'd still have jobs.
Mhm.
And then the next on January 31st, 2022, Frank Valentini posts, the preview of that day's show. And this person reposted it saying, "You should get fucking fired, bitch." Um, yeah, and
Yeah.
then you
And then this was the same person who,
imagine wanting
yeah,
people to get fired and making jokes about people getting fired, and then also acting the ass because someone doesn't give a shit that your favorite got fired because she's the one that blasted you about saying you don't care.
right, exactly. Yeah, it was just, yeah, yeah. The hypocrisy.
Yeah. All right. So here's one that I actually responded to. This one again was from our friend at Crazy Soaps. Um, I'm convinced some of y'all on this app are paid Frank employees because there's no way anyone watches his version of General Hospital and enjoys it, where our faves have been constantly disrespected by him and the stories have no consistency and the characters act out of character. And I responded, the show has been awesome lately. If you have access to Disney Cash, I'd want some, but alas, Frank isn't paying me.
Yeah.
I don't I don't understand. I don't understand the delusion of people. I just
That,
I understand not like something, whatever. If that's the way it is,
right.
have the option, you have the right to say, I don't like it. I don't want to see it, turn it off. But don't bash other people for enjoying it. That's the same
And
thing in the wrestling universe.
mhm. That's my thing is I don't understand people. This is something that annoys me when they, the fans, most of, majority,
Yep.
no one can. Why can't people just have an opinion and stand in their own opinion? Why do they have to feel like everyone agrees with them or that they're in the majority? Why, and why can't, what does it matter to you? I don't care. Even my friends, I don't care what other people watch GH4 and like. We're in our Zoom yesterday, and at the end of the show, like a few of the girls in the Zoom, and these are, girls in my group chat and we're friends, were really mad. And they're like, I hate this show. I'm so annoyed. I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
But, so everybody can have their own opinion.
Yeah.
Why would you watch a show for what somebody else likes or doesn't like? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why does their just have your opinion?
Okay, so I'll share this story, and here's how toxic this is why I say the wrestling social media space is just like the soaps social media.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, the actress, oh hell, she was on Two Broke Girls. Um, the hell is her name? Oh, Kate,
I don't know. I didn't.
Pat Dennings. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so she tweeted out something saying, I just watched WWE SummerSlam or Survivor Series or whatever, and I think I'm starting to like wrestling. And holy crap, the anti WWE fans, the AEW fans, all got on her saying that she should watch AEW because it's a better show and not to like WWE. And alas, she's no longer on Twitter because of it. So
It
it's just as toxic. And like I said, like what you like, who cares? It's not up to you to tell me what I should.
right, right. That's my thing. I'm like, I don't understand. If you want to hate something, hate it. Why does somebody else not hating it bother you? What? I just, I don't, I just don't understand why people need, or like, you say that you don't like something and somebody replies and goes, well, this person got this much results in the poll versus this person. I'm like, I don't care.
Right,
Other people liking them doesn't make me like them.
right, exactly.
Other people hating Carly doesn't make me hate Carly. Have an opinion and just stand in your opinion, people. We're not automatrons that are all just cookie cutter.
Oh, they want us to be.
But They do, and I'm not here for it.
So here's our last one for today. Um, this one, oh no, I'm sorry. There's actually two. There's two more. Um, so here's the thing. On Twitter, they have, well, actually, it all works together. On Twitter, they actually have something where it shows you, other people who are relevant to what a tweet you're seeing or responding to that you may want to follow. So
Yes.
this person here seems to be a very huge Alexis fan and a Sonny and Alexis fan. This
Oh, Jade, my good friend Jade, who doesn't understand Twitter.
and this is
Yes.
this is from at GH General Truth. When LW's Laura Wright, when LW's biggest fan accidentally follows you, LMAO girl, and then a lot of laughing emojis because you followed them. To which you pointed out in today's edition of Twix for Dummies, suggested follows. As illustrated in the picture below, Twix offers suggestions on who to follow. Sometimes you can accidentally click on a profile you do not wish to follow, but never fear, you can unfollow them just as easily. They will be notified that you followed them, making their day momentarily joyous. It's nice to bring joy to others, even if they will later be sad that you quickly unfollowed them to correct your mistake because they are nothing but an oozing minge. The more you know. Hashtag the more you know.
Yeah, I got a little mean on that one because I was just so, and it's so funny because like I saw that I had accidentally followed her when I was trying to press follow on the person like below her or whatever on that list when it came up, and immediately unfollowed her because I'm like I have her muted. I'm like I am not following this
Right.
bitch.
Yeah. And then
Oh
in
Lord.
response, at GHFan 10130 says, "Well, now you know she stalks your page."
Yeah.
And then you reposted saying stalks, or maybe they said what they meant since my fans do love to talk about me. I guess in that regard, I do stalk their pages.
Yeah, it's so insane. And then yeah, she was like, I can't wait to see if there's a lame excuse or no answer at all, as usual. Every time she asks me a question, I answer her question, but then she doesn't like the answer, so she keeps asking it, and I'm like, and she's like, see, you can't answer. And then somebody else was like, fill me in, what's going on? She said Angie was caught following me. Then she unfollowed when she was called out. LMAO. She's a trip, that one. Always good for a laugh. I'm like, I unfollowed you before you even saw that I followed you, you psychopath. And what do you mean I was caught following you?
Yeah.
Does she think that I don't know that you can see who follows you on Twix? Caught following me.
Yeah.
She caught me. Darn it. And I would have got away with it too if it weren't for you crazy kids. Like, seriously, get a grip.
Wow. Well,
And I also like when they say, when LW's biggest fan. I'm sorry, is that a slur?
yeah, exactly. Well, with on that happy note, we're going to close down for today's episode. Angela, it's been great as always. We will read in November for another.
Don't forget to keep clutching those pearls, guys. I
Yes,
always keep mine handy right here so I can clutch them as needed.
we're going to have to find some way of getting a bunch of pearls with the letters of your name on each bead and just put and start selling them.
Right?
But with
Yes.
that said, we are out of time for this episode of Angel Answers Fan Mail. Again, go ahead and follow our Patreon, patreon.com/Suds and Squirt Circle, where you'll get this episode early, as well as take me down to Studio City, dockside at the Bay, and Sports Entertainment Center. Keep Saturday, November 16th on your calendar because that day, starting at noon, we'll be embarking on a 24-hour telethon to support Samantha's friends. All right. With that said, Angela, any final notes?
Just watch the show. Like what you like, hate what you hate, and let others do likewise.
Yes. And if you
That's
do
all.
want to send in a question for Angela, go ahead and email us, Angela answers fan mail at gmail.com. All right. So for Angela, I'm Vinny. Have a great day, everybody.